Welcome to my PSA on tree hugging. So, is there a right and a wrong way to do this? Now, the reason I want to talk with you guys about this today is because you are looking at a tree hugger. If you know me, my friends will tell you that I hug trees pretty much wherever I go. And the reason that I do this, there's a couple reasons. One is because I love nature, right? And I love connecting to nature in different ways because it helps me out, right? So one of the things it does for me is just energetically, I feel good, I feel calm, I feel grounded. If I'm going through a hard time, it kind of helps, balance out some of that energy that's going through me, helps kind of level me out a little bit. And also too, when you connect with nature, with spirit in that way, you can receive some really powerful, helpful, beneficial messages, right? But you have to know how to tap in and do that in order to get the things out of it. Right? So what's the right or the wrong way to kind of hug a tree? Well, if you don't feel comfortable, there's a couple different things you can do. You can sit below the tree and lean your back up against the trunk, and that's a good connection. If you want, you can just place your hands on it here. If you're like embarrassed to be hanging out with me hugging the trees and you want to do it, just put your hands on it right there and that'll work. Or you can give it like a really big full-on bear hug, and that can be it. For me, I also kind of I'll bear hug it and I'll kind of lean my cheek on it, mostly because the tree, just the energy, it feels so good to me. So I just want to be as close as possible, right, to the tree. So that's kind of how I work. You might pick up things differently, so you got to do what's right for you. How do you choose a tree? So if you're trying to figure out what tree to pick, and you're not super intuitive and you're not feeling that intuitive pull or draw towards a tree, I would suggest just looking at one that looks interesting, or maybe it's got a cool bark to it, or you like the color of the leaves, or whatever it is, or maybe it's just one that catches your eye. Have you ever done that in a bookstore and you don't know why, but your eye just keeps going to this one book, right? If your eye goes to the tree, that's your tree. So you can go up to it, you can sit next to it, put your hands on it, hug it, whatever. And the next question really becomes, well, okay, so I'm here and I speak English and there's this tree and it's just a tree. How do I get messages out of it? How do I pick up on the energy? What do we do here? So the first thing I would say is the energy, if you're sensitive to it, you'll pick it up you'll just pick it up and you'll feel it. If you're not sensitive to it, you might just notice a shift in your emotional state, whether you realize that the tree is actually doing that for you or not. Now, if you want to communicate with it, that's a whole other separate scenario. And I think really it's about the mindfulness and the intention that you have behind connecting with the tree, right? You don't want to just put your hands on the tree and be like, all right, let's talk, right? It's really about taking your time, staying grounded, being mindful, and really getting in there and asking for the answers. For me, my first move is I will say hi. Sometimes I'm just like, hi, because I'm usually excited to see the tree. And the tree, usually for me, I'm clairaudient, so that means I have a psychic voice that I do hear. And so I will hear the tree answer me back, right? And it'll be like, hi. And sometimes it's it'll be in different voices, cadences of speech. Every tree really is very unique. It has its own personality. It's kind of like a person, right? It has its own energetic vibration. Some trees are super grounding. Some trees are you can feel there's a lot of energy moving through the tree. It's like that crazy kid on the playground just running and screaming with his hands up. Every tree is so different. So also too, if you find a tree and you're like, this is not the tree for me, pick another tree, right? They're not all going to be the same. So don't let one experience that you're not super loving prevent you from trying to get one that's more in alignment with kind of your vibe and what you're looking for. So for me, one of the things after I say hi, sometimes I'll just kind of start asking questions. I might be like, how are you doing today? Do you need anything? Sometimes maybe they want a little water or, whatever. Maybe they got a dead branch that needs to be picked down. I don't know. Sometimes they want an offering. So I'll just kind of ask how it's doing and if it needs anything. And then after that, if I feel like the tree is kind of wanting to connect with me, I might start asking it some questions. I might just ask generally, I'm so grateful you're connecting with me. Do you have any messages for me? Right? And then see what you get. If you don't have clairaudience, you might not get the voice, but maybe you might get a feeling or emotion, something in you, right? Maybe you might get this really great, amazing feeling of love that starts in your chest and just spreads out through the rest of your body. And maybe you're having a day where you're kind of down in the dumps and this tree is just trying to let you know, hey, man, you're loved. I love you. You don't have to feel bad today. right? So that's one way that you can interpret things. Sometimes too, we just get a gut feeling about something. So, maybe you get that from the tree, and that's, I just feel this, and that might be your message. So there's a lot of different ways that you can receive something from the tree, and I think people underestimate how powerful and how much information is out there in all these trees for us to really draw on. I've gotten some really amazing messages, some powerful messages. I've gotten some really good guidance, and sometimes I was just feeling lost and I really wasn't intending to get anything out of the tree. I just hugged the tree because I knew the energy was going to be good and it was going to make me feel better, right? And that was the only intention I had going in, and I ended up with all these really great messages that really helped get me on a more a path that was where I needed to be going. So don't underestimate the powers of the tree. Don't underestimate the power of a really good tree hug. Try it out. See what you think. See how you feel. And if you're embarrassed, that's okay. There's other ways to do it where you don't have to worry about people looking at you, or pick a tree that's like way back far in the forest so nobody can see you. But I just really have always loved the tree energy, and I hope that you find a way to connect with it and that you learn to love it too. So hopefully that was helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have an absolutely beautiful day.